Also tonight, experts warn about the dangers of diving off cliffs along the Salt and Verde rivers. This weekend's temperatures will probably send thousands of people to the Salt and Verde rivers to cool off. News 5's Bud Ginhart reports on a warning from the people who have to deal with the accidents that one river activity produces every year.
Barrows Neurological Institute took a message to the river today, passing out can coolers, ice water, and advice. Feet first the first time. Jim Haymauer didn't dive feet first 18 years ago, and he broke his neck. He's lived in a wheelchair ever since.
But when you get to the aspects of paralysis for the rest of your life and how it affects not only you, but your family and the friends and those people around you, they don't have any idea of what it's like.
For surgeons, spinal cord injuries are always difficult, but those caused by diving are the worst.
When they dive and they hit their head, it tends to be in the upper cervical spine, which is much more devastating because it makes their arms and legs weak, not only their legs weak. So the diving individual tends to have a worse or much worse injury than the other individual that has a spinal cord injury.
In the past 2 years, 10 people have broken their neck here at the Salt River, all of them young, all of them male. But no matter which end hits the water first, it's illegal, because the river keeps changing.
You could have swimmers down below you, tubers down below you, and our stance is if you do it and you hurt somebody, you're going to be prosecuted. That's the way it is, so we recommend no jumping at all.
The feet first advice remains sound in lakes and in swimming pools where there aren't any deputies to restrain you from risking death or paralysis. Bud Ginhart, News 5.
Coming up next on Channel 12 News, a Health Team 12 report on the dangers of diving. It's part of summer fun, but it's also a summer killer.
Summer's almost here, and the risk of spinal cord injuries from diving accidents is even greater this time of year. Diving accidents are the 4th leading cause of paralysis in the country. Health Team 12 reporter Nancy Williams tells us about what we can do to keep our outings safe.
Well, Vince, if you really have to dive, jump first. It's such a simple lesson, but it can save your life or keep you out of a wheelchair for the rest of your life. Summer attracts people to water like a magnet, but every year diving accidents in lakes, rivers, and pools will leave 1,000 people paralyzed.
If it's a real bad break and they can't move their arms and legs, they can't breathe, they would be on a respirator for the rest of their lives. They can't move their arms and legs, and if it's the worst scenario would be where the spinal cord is actually severed, cut into two.
Paul is one of the very lucky ones. He was injured during a diving accident last year.
Dove in, hit a rock, became paralyzed immediately. Totally conscious, but became paralyzed immediately.
Paul was paralyzed for 1 week, but new techniques in neurosurgery and a lot of luck put him back on his feet. Usually a spinal cord injury is for good.
And the spinal cord is just like the brain. It's an extension of the brain. It acts like the brain. It is the brain. It's just an extension of the brain. So if you cut the spinal cord, there's no regeneration. Nothing will make it better.
Paul says he will never forget that one day last year. He might have been in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And even those in wheelchairs are lucky. Almost half of all paralyzed diving victims drowned before anybody knows they're in trouble.
Our message is, if you're going to jump, if you want to cool off, go feet first time.
I know it's something that you don't think about. You know, I did it. You know, I wasn't thinking about it. It never happened to me, but it did.